Good morning. This is Dr. Daisy Gupta and I am going to teach you physiology. Let's study about breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. So what do you understand by breathing? Hope you all know about breathing. So breathing is a simple process. It involves exchange of O2 and CO2, or we can say it is an intake of O2 and expulsion of CO2. Okay, that process is called breathing. It occurs in generally two stages. It occurs in two stages. It has two stages: inspiration and expiration. What is inspiration? Intake of O2. Okay, or whenever air or O2 enter the lungs from atmosphere. Okay, that is called as inspiration, and whenever air or O2 leaves the lungs, that is called as expiration. Okay, so breathing is simple process: intake of O2 and expulsion of CO2. It's just an exchange of O2 and CO2 between lungs and atmosphere. Okay, so it occurs in two stages: inspiration and expiration. Now, what is respiration? Yeah, respiration is a commonly word used for breathing, but respiration is a totally different term. So, what is respiration? What do you understand by respiration? Yeah, we can generally use respiration for breathing, but here the totally different thing. It's the oxidation of food to form carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Okay, so respiration is an internal process. It's here what is taking place? Oxidation of food is taking place into CO2, water, and energy. Okay, so that is a respiration. Don't confuse, never ever confuse it with breathing. Breathing is a simple process, but respiration is a very complex process which occurs inside a body. Okay, so let's respiration is divided into two types. Whenever O2 is used in respiration, it is known as aerobic respiration. Okay, whenever O2 is used in respiration, it is known as aerobic respiration, and if O2 is not used, it is known as anaerobic respiration. An means without, and here it denotes without aerobic. Aerobic means using O2 and anaerobic is without O2. Okay, anaerobic respiration. Okay, that is the respiration. Okay, now aerobic respiration is further divided into two types. Okay, and aerobic respiration where O2, because generally aerobic respiration takes place where O2 is used. Okay, to convert the food into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So aerobic respiration involves two phases. First is external respiration. Okay, and another one is internal respiration. So what do you understand by external and internal respiration? So here, external respiration is just simply the intake of oxygen from the surrounding medium and giving out CO2 into the surrounding medium. It is just a simple breathing. Okay, the simple breathing is known as external respiration. Intake of O2 and giving out of CO2. Okay, intake of oxygen or O2 from surrounding medium and giving out CO2 into surrounding medium. Okay, so just simple O2 and CO2 are exchanging. Just simple exchange of O2 and CO2. Okay, it is just a simple exchange of O2 and CO2. And what is internal respiration? Okay, internal respiration generally involves three steps. Okay, first step is here. All two steps are same. That is, it is taking O2. Okay, uptake of O2 by cells. O2 is taken up by cells. Okay, O2 is going inside. Now, second middle step between O2 and exchange of CO2 is that here oxidation of food is taking place inside the cell by oxidizing enzymes. Okay, here oxidation of food is taking place inside the cell. Okay, remember it is taking place inside the cell by some oxidation enzymes. And third step is again same, elimination of CO2. Okay, so Only basic difference between external and internal respiration is this step. Okay, in external respiration we can also say just a breathing. Breathing is also commonly known as external respiration because it's a simple step, intake of O2 and elimination of CO2 from the environment, okay, or from the body. Okay, so here internal respiration is uptake of O2 over the cells, that is a similar step. Elimination is also similar, but in between two these steps there is an oxidation of food inside the cells by oxidizing enzymes. Okay, so that is the basic step and that is the basic. Okay, now let's move on to the difference. Okay, let's see the basic difference between respiration and breathing. Okay, so you all understand about what is breathing and what is respiration. Let's now check about the basic difference between breathing and respiration. So what do you understand by breathing and what do you understand by respiration? It's all clear. So what is breathing? Breathing is just a simple intake of O2 and CO2 between the environment and lungs. Okay, so breathing is just intake of pure air, okay, or we can say that fresh air, and removal of foul air. Okay, this is a breathing process. And respiration is what? It is just an oxidation of food to form CO2. It is oxidation of food. Okay, it's oxidation of food to form CO2, water, H2O, and energy. Here energy is released versus formed. Okay. Second main difference. Now breathing takes place is manual. It's a physical process. Okay, it's taking place outside the cell. It is a physical process. And what is respiration? It's taking place internally. So it is a biochemical process. Okay, remember it's taking place internally. Internal chemical reactions are taking place. That's why it is a biochemical process. Okay. So next difference is in breathing, no energy is released. It is rather used. Okay, energy is not released. It is rather used. Energy is not released because we are not doing any work. But we are using the energy in respiration. Okay, in respiration, energy is released. Okay, energy is released in the form of ATP. What is ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate, a unit of energy. Okay, so here energy is released in the form of ATP. Next difference, breathing occurs outside the cells. Okay, it occurs outside the cells. That's why it is also known as extracellular process. That's the difference. Always remember, breathing always occurs outside the cells. Okay, it is not taking place inside the cell, just like respiration. Okay, respiration occurs inside the cell. That's why it's called as intracellular process. Okay, so that is the difference. It is occurring inside the cells. They are occurring outside the cell. That's why it's called an extracellular process. Okay. Large difference that here in breathing, no enzymes are involved. As you all know, no enzymes are taking place, or no enzymes are involved doing anything. But here enzymes are involved. Okay. Many enzymes are involved in the respiration. That is the basic difference between respiration and breathing. Okay, hope you all know about the basic difference between respiration and breathing. Okay, now let's just talk about the difference between aerobic respiration, as we have just studied about that, and anaerobic respiration. Okay, so what is the basic difference? What is aerobic respiration? Whenever O2 is used, that is called as aerobic respiration, and anaerobic, that is whenever O2 is not used. Okay, so what is aerobic respiration? It takes place only in the presence of oxygen. Okay, but anaerobic respiration doesn't require oxygen. That is the basic difference. Okay, here in aerobic respiration, now you remember this, whenever O2 is used, okay, O2 is intake in the exchange of some product. Okay, so what is the other product? It exchanges CO2. Okay, O2 is always used in exchange of some product. Okay, whenever O2 is involved, always remember it will always releases CO2 because it is always intake in the exchange of CO2. Okay, but here it may or it is not compulsory that it will not, may not or may release CO2. It is not compulsory that in aerobic respiration CO2 is not released. It may release CO2, it may not release CO2. That's depend. But in aerobic respiration CO2 is necessarily released. Okay. Aerobic respiration obviously now it's using energy of O2. That's why it will provide more energy. Okay, it will provide much more energy as compared to anaerobic respiration. So, anaerobic respiration, it provides less energy. Okay. Okay. Next difference is now aerobic respiration as it is involving oxygen or energy. Okay, that's why it will take place in mitochondria as well as in cytoplasm. Okay, it will take place in cytoplasm as well as in mitochondria. So mitochondria, you know, is a powerhouse of cells. That's why here O2 is involved and energy is involved. That's why it also takes place in mitochondria also. Otherwise, anaerobic respiration doesn't require O2 and energy. It's not involved energy. That's why it's only take place in cytoplasm. Okay. So what are the examples of aerobic respiration? Some plants, most of the plants and animals. Okay. And anaerobic respiration occurs in anaerobic bacteria, some yeast, mussels, and some worms also. Worms like Escherichia. Okay, all clear? That is all about aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Okay, so this is whole process: breathing, respiration, types of respiration, aerobic respiration, and anaerobic respiration. Okay. Okay. So now you all know about respiration, breathing, types of respiration. Let me tell you something. Like respiration involves some steps. Okay, what are the steps in respiration? So there are some steps involved in respiration. Okay, basic steps that are involved in respiration. How does it take place? Okay, so what is breathing? Breathing is the first step in respiration. The first step is breathing. Breathing is, you know about, I told you that is an intake of O2 and exchange of CO2. Okay, intake of O2, that is inspiration, and outflow of CO2, that is expiration. That is the first step in respiration. Okay, first step will take place. Okay, so it will take place between, breathing takes place between atmospheric sphere, it takes place between atmosphere and lungs. What part of the lungs? Alveoli of lung. Atmosphere and alveoli of the lungs. Okay. You all know about what are the structures of the lung. Okay, how they flow to the lungs. Okay, I will cover in the next section. Okay, next second step in breathing. Second step after breathing in respiration is diffusion of gases. Now gases are exchanged. Okay, so gases will diffuse across the alveolar membranes. Alveolar membranes. Okay. So gases will be diffused. Which gases? O2 and CO2. Okay, diffusion of O2 and CO2 across alveolar membrane. Okay. Third step is now gases are diffused across the alveolar membrane. Then the gases will be transported by the blood. Third step will be, now after diffusion, gases will be transported by the blood. Okay, remember. Next step, now O2 and CO2 will be diffused. Now blood will transport gases and then it will diffuse them into lungs. So diffusion of O2 and CO2 will take place between lungs and blood. blood and the tissues. Okay, so first step is breathing, then diffusion of gases across alveolar membrane, then transport of gases by the blood, then diffusion of O2 and CO2 between blood and tissues. Okay, now lungs with blood and tissues. And final step involved are utilization of O2 by cells for catabolic reaction and resultant release of CO2. Okay, and final step, what will happen whenever O2 and CO2 will be diffused between blood and tissue, then tissue will take the oxygen. Okay, it will keep the oxygen or utilize the oxygen for its uses by the cells. Okay, so utilization of O2 by cells for some catabolic reactions, that is known as the respiration, or the basic step in the respiration, catabolic reaction, and then resultant it will release CO2. Okay, resultant release of CO2. Okay, that is also known as cellular respiration. We can also say that is cellular respiration because cells are involved in it. Okay, so what the steps involved in respiration? Breathing, intake of O2 and outflow of CO2 between atmosphere and alveolar lungs. Second step is diffusion of gases O2 and CO2 across the alveolar membrane. Third is transport of gases by the blood. After diffusing, the blood will transfer the gases to the tissues. Then diffusion will take place between O2 and CO2 between blood and tissue. After the tissue will utilize the O2 by the cells for catabolic reaction and finally release the CO2. That is also known as this is also known as cellular respiration. Okay, so these are the basic steps of respiration. Okay, understood? If you know more about respiration, okay, now we move on to mechanism. That is the basic main topic is a mechanism of breathing. Okay, that is all about just a basic info about the lungs and breathing. That's all. Okay, main topic is our now mechanism of breathing. How breathing take place. Okay, you know, just a simple process, seem very simple. Okay, but it's a very complex mechanism behind the breathing. Okay, so what is the mechanism? Let's study mechanism of breathing. Okay, so I'm not repeating again. It's a simple flow of air and outflow of CO2 between. Okay, so now how the breathing take place. Okay, generally breathing is affected by expansion and contraction of lung. Okay, so lungs are involved in breathing. They are the main organs that are involved in breathing. Okay, so lungs expand and contract accordingly when during breathing. Okay, so when they are expanding and when they are contracting, what are the muscles involved? Let's see all of them. Okay, so breathing is generally affected by expansion and contraction of lung. So there are mainly two processes by which lungs are expanded or contracted. How the lungs are expanded and contract? There are two processes. Okay, first process is the downward and upward movement of the diaphragm. What is the diaphragm? You all know about the diaphragm muscle. Okay, so diaphragm, downward and upward movement of diaphragm. Okay, let me explain. Okay, these are the cavity. Okay, this is now diaphragm. Okay, what is this? This is your vertebral column. Vertebral column. Okay, and this is your ribs. Here your rib is going on. Okay, and this is the back side of your sternum. Okay, this is the back portion of it. This is sternum. Okay, so here this is the muscle diaphragm. Okay, so this will contract. Okay, so this will move downward or outward. Okay, then that will increase and decreases the diameter of thoracic cavity. This is thoracic cavity accordingly. Okay, so if you, okay, it will move downwards, then it will increase the diameter of thoracic cavity or chest cavity, and it will move outwards, it will decrease the diameter of the thoracic or chest cavity. Okay, so you know that we will. Okay, let's say here the upward. First is the upward and downward movement of diaphragm. Okay, so what upward movement will do? Upward movement will decreases the diameter of thoracic cavity. Okay. Thoracic cavity is also known as chest cavity. Okay. And downward movement of diaphragm will increases the diameter of thoracic cavity. Okay. That's how the chest will expand. Okay, or lungs will expand or contract. The first step is the downward and upward movement of this diaphragm. Okay. Then second is the elevation and depression of the ribs. These are the ribs. They will elevate or get depressed. Second is elevation and depression of the ribs. So what will happen when we ribs are elevated? What will happen? It will lengthen the thoracic cavity. That will increase the length of thoracic cavity. And when it will depressed, what it will do? It will shorten the thoracic cavity. Okay. So basically, two processes will help in the expansion or contraction of lungs. The downward and first is the upward and downward movement of the diaphragm, main portion. That is main important element. And second is this is diaphragm. Okay. And second is ribs elevation and depression. Okay. So whenever ribs will elevate and depress, okay, whenever ribs will elevated, it will lengthen the thoracic cavity. If it elevated, thoracic cavity is lengthened, and when it is depressed, thoracic cavity is shortened. Okay, so that's how it will work. But in case of diaphragm, whenever it moves upward, the diameter of thoracic cavity will decreases, and it will move downward, diameter of thoracic cavity will increase. Okay, that's how it will work. Okay, that is the main two process. Okay. How the lungs are expanded or contracted. That about the lung. Now moving on to inspiration. How inspiration takes place? Because breathing involves two stages: inspiration and expiration. Now moving to each and every stage. Let's see how will inspiration takes place. Okay. So inspiration, it means intake of O2. Okay, to the lungs, by which fresh air enter the lung. So what muscles are involved in the inspiration? So first of all, three muscles are involved: diaphragm, intercostal muscles, and abdominal muscle plays a very important role. Okay, diaphragm, intercostal muscles, and abdominal muscles. They take place an important role in inspiration. Always remember these three muscles are very important for inspiration. Okay, how will they work? Let's explain. Let's see. Okay, the diaphragm. What happened during inspiration? Diaphragm will get flat. Here the diaphragm is just moving like that. It will become like flat. Okay, during inspiration it becomes flat. The diaphragm become flat. Okay, it become flat. Okay, when it become flat and get lowered, okay, it get flat and just get lowered by the contraction of its muscle fibers. Okay, thereby increasing the volume of thoracic cavity length. Okay, what will happen? It will become flat, then it will lower. Okay, it will get lower. So what will happen? It will increasing the thoracic cavity diameter. Okay, so it will become flat and lower due to muscles. Muscle fibers will play an important role in that. So it will contract it or lowered it. Okay, so that's why decreasing or increasing the volume of thoracic cavity. Okay, understood? Then second muscle is external intercostal muscle. External intercostal. Okay, always remember in inspiration external intercostal muscle take place, and in expiration internal intercostal muscle will take place. Okay, that is opposite. Remember, intercostal. Okay. So external intercostal muscle, okay, they occur between ribs. So they are the ribs muscle occur between the ribs. These muscles are occurring between the ribs. Okay, so these, what will they do? These muscles contract and pull the ribs and sternum upward. Okay. Here they will contract the ribs and sternum. Let me tell you how. They will contract and pull the sternum like that. Diaphragm is also like that. Okay, after expiration. But they will contract the sternum and pull the ribs and sternum upward and outward. Okay, so these muscles क्या करती है? They pulls ribs and sternum upward and outward, like that. Okay, here it is pulling the sternum upward and outward. Okay, thus increasing the volume of, again increasing in total in inspiration volume of thoracic cavity is increased, because when volume of thoracic cavity will increase, air will go inside. Okay, that is lungs are expanding to accumulate the air. Volume of thoracic cavity increases. Okay. Last pair of muscle, abdominal muscle, how they will take place? How they play a role? Abdominal muscle just relax. Abdominal muscle relax and allow compression of abdominal organs by allow करती है compression of abdominal organs by diaphragm. Abdominal muscles just relax so that they can get contracted by the diaphragm. Okay, when diaphragm contracts, it will push the abdominal organs. Okay, so to allow the compression of organs by diaphragm. Okay, so the muscles of diaphragm and external intercostal muscles are the principal muscles. Okay, so these two muscles are the main principal muscles of inspiration. Okay, these are the principal muscles of inspiration. Diaphragm and they plays a major role. Diaphragm become flat and lower due to the muscle fibers, thus increasing the volume of thoracic cavity. External intercostal muscles are present at the name. Okay, they pull the ribs and sternum outward and upward, thus increasing the cavity of volume of thoracic cavity. But abdominal muscles are relaxing, sitting in the positive form. Okay, thus they are allowing the compression of abdominal organ by diaphragm, because the diaphragm is getting contracted. That's why. Okay, thus they relax, thus they will diaphragm so that can compress the abdominal organs. Okay, that's how. Okay, the muscles take place. Okay. Now next is a movement of fresh air into the lungs. How the fresh air is moved into the lungs? Okay, this is all inspiration. Now how will the fresh air will move into the lungs? This is the muscle taking place. Okay, now muscles have done their work. Now it's a time for air to move inside. How will it work? Okay, now overall volume of thoracic cavity now have increased. Okay, so overall volume of thoracic cavity, okay, already has increased to high level. Okay, because all muscles are taking place, acting together. Thus, as a result, what will happen whenever volume will increase? What will happen? Space is increased. Thus, there will be a decrease in the air pressure in the lungs. What will happen? Decrease in air pressure in the lungs, because volume has increased. Now more space is there and pressure is not there, so air pressure has decreased. Okay. So what will happen whenever the greater pressure, whenever the air pressure is decreased inside the body and there is a greater pressure outside the body, what will happen? This will cause the air to flow rapidly into the nostrils and through the nasal cavities into the internal ears, thus will flow into the alveoli or lungs. Okay, so what will happen? Okay, there is a difference in the pressure. Okay, volume is increased, volume of thoracic cavity increased, that is more space is there. Now air pressure has decreased. So difference in the pressure inside and outside, inside the body and outside the environment. Okay, so outside is a more pressure and inside is less pressure. So what will happen? Air will move into the lungs. Okay, how it will move? It will move rapidly through the nostrils or external nares, or we can say external nostrils, nose. Through the nose it will move. Then it will move to nasal cavity. There is a sequence. Okay, how will air moving? Then it will move to internal layers. Okay, from there it will go to pharynx. From pharynx it will go to glottis. From glottis it will go to larynx. Then larynx through trachea, and going through trachea it will move to bronchi, bronchioles, alveolar duct, finally to alveoli. Okay, it will reach the alveoli. Okay, that's how inspiration takes place. Okay, from the alveoli, the oxygen passes into the blood of the capillaries and CO2 will diffuse outside the capillary. Okay, from here what will happen? Oxygen will go into the blood. Okay, and what will happen? CO2 will be diffused out of the blood. Okay, that's how the inspiration will take place. Okay, so now what happened? All the muscles have done their work. Inspiration, diaphragm, external intercostals and abdominal muscles, thus increasing the total volume of the thoracic cavity. Thus, there will be a decrease in the air pressure of the cavity. The difference in air pressure inside and outside will cause, if outside is more pressure, to cause the air to move into the internal side. Okay, inside the lungs or alveoli through the external nostril, they will move into nasal cavity, internal nares, pharynx, then glottis, larynx moving through trachea, bronchi, bronchial palate, alveoli, and there they are exchanged with the blood. Okay, this is all about the inspiration. Okay, let's move on to expiration. How does expiration take place? Okay, so what are the muscles involved in expiration? Okay, it's very simple. There is a little bit difference in the muscles. Okay, otherwise the process will be little just opposite of that. Okay, so what is expiration? You know, expiration, how will it take place? Now, inspiration has taken place. Now, how will do expiration? Okay, so what happens? It is a process by which cool air CO2 that is released will expel out of the lungs. Okay, so it is a passive process. Always remember, inspiration is an active process and it is a passive process. Just doesn't require any energy. Where inspiration is requiring the any energy. Okay, so the muscles involved are diaphragm. Okay, again diaphragm is involved because diaphragm is a major muscle in inspiration. Next is, here is a supporting muscle where in inspiration I told you that external intercostal muscle is taking place, but in expiration here will be the internal intercostal muscle taking place. Okay, okay, just to pause it with you. That is remembering. That's very important. Just remember it. Okay. Third, again same abdominal muscle. That's the only difference between the muscles are internal and external intercostal muscles. Okay. So how, what will do diaphragm? Okay, just will relax. Okay, that at that time of inspiration it was contracting. Now at that time it will relax. Okay, how will relax? It will relax. When diaphragm will relax, what will happen? It will move into just normal convex shape. Okay, diaphragm will just go into convex shape. Okay, it will change its shape to convex. Okay, thus it will become convex. Thus it will, what will do? It will again come into normal process. So what will happen? It will decrease the thoracic cavity volume. Diameter, sorry. It will decrease the diameter of thoracic cavity. Okay, or volume of the thoracic cavity. That is the process of diaphragm. Next is internal intercostal muscle. These muscles contract so that they pull the ribs downward and inward. Okay, now what will they do? They will contract so that they can pull the ribs downward and inward. Here in this case, okay, here it is pulling these ribs downward and inward so that the size of thoracic cavity can be decreases. Okay, so size of thoracic cavity is decreased in this case because in the inspiration it was expanding. Ribs were massive when they are pulled outward and upward. Okay, but in this case internal intercostal muscles are pulling the inward. Internal means inside. Okay, so it will pull the ribs inside, inward. Okay, that's a similar thing. So it will contract. Ribs will be pulled downward and inward, thus decreasing the size of thoracic cavity. Just a pause to that inspiration. Okay, what will the abdominal muscle? Okay, abdominal muscle at the time of that inspiration are relaxing. Now here they will contract so that pressure from the diaphragm will not compress the organs and thus it will relax them. Okay, so here they are contracting. Contracting the abdominal muscle will. What are the abdominal muscles? Two type of abdominal muscles. Actually, they are internal and external oblique muscles are there. External and internal oblique muscles. Whatever the type of muscle, abdominal muscle will contract. Thus, it will compresses the abdomen. Okay. What will happen when it compresses the abdomen? Okay. It will push its content or viscera towards the diaphragm. It will pushes the contents viscera towards the diaphragm. Okay, so that diaphragm will go to normal position. Okay. Okay, understood? Okay, so in its expiration, internal and external costal and abdominal muscles. These are the muscles of expiration. Main muscles of expirations are internal, intercostal and abdominal. But in the case of inspiration, diaphragm and intercostal are the major muscle. Here the abdominal muscle plays major role in diaphragm because it is contracting, compressing the abdomen, thus pushing the contents or viscera of abdomen towards the diaphragm, thus making it relax. Okay. Okay. These are the major muscles. Okay. So how the movement will take place? How will the movement of abdominal muscle movement of air will take place outside the body? Okay, let's see. How will the movement of air will outside the body? Cool air outside the body. So now what will happen? Overall muscles contraction. Making the overall volume of thoracic cavity decreases. Okay. Here the volume of thoracic cavity is decreasing. Overall volume is decreasing. Okay. Thus, what will happen? Air pressure inside the lungs will become more. Okay, because there are more air already entered in the body. Then a foul air will goes from the cavities of alveoli. Okay, then foul air will release out of the body. How it will go? Now from alveoli, it will move into ducts. Again, just opposite. Bronchioles. Just opposite way. It will follow trachea, larynx, glottis. Just be concentrated. Okay, pharynx, internal layers. Again, moving out to the nasal cavity. And external layers, and then through the layers it will move outside. Okay, just a positive matter. Okay, the whole process is very simple in expiration. Okay, inspiration is just not very complex because it's a very process. It doesn't require any energy. Just volume will increase, muscles will take place. Volume decreases, pressure increases. That air will automatically just without any energy release outside the body. Okay. So that is a very simple process. Okay, just compared to inspiration. Okay, hope you all understand about the process of breathing. Okay, involving two processes: inspiration, expiration. In inspiration, major muscles are diaphragm and external intercostal muscles. The abdominal muscles also play a role, but they are not that important as compared to expiration. Here the main muscles are internal, intercostal and abdominal muscle. Okay, so this whole process takes place. That is the mechanism of breathing. That's how the breathing takes place. Okay, this occurs it's very fast process, but okay, it's a very fast, but it's very simple process. Okay, but expiration is much more simpler than the inspiration. Okay, okay, that is the breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, I will take place. Okay, I will tell you about the lungs and their parts. How the air will flow into the lungs in the next video. Okay. Hope you understand all the video.